This is Johnny with Tiger Bomb MMA. Tonight I'm going to be going over Luque versus Muhammad 2, UFC Fight Night, that is. No Jose tonight. He's feeling ill, but I'll be giving you my thoughts, predictions, possible parlays on the entire card, breaking it down. Interesting card. Reviewing it, I did a ton of tape study on every fighter. Some of these were painstaking, but I think there's some good underdogs on this card. I like what I see so far, but I'll start breaking everything down. The first fight of the night taking place, and I'll have to double check, at heavyweight. That's where I was like, holy shit, is it heavyweight or light heavyweight? Devin Clark versus William Knight. And currently the odds have it in favor of, where are they? I'm assuming it's going to be William Knight as the favorite. Yep. Actually, no, Devin Clark minus 165. Comeback on William Knight is a plus 145. Interesting, because I would have expected Devin Clark to be the favorite on this one. 1 second, this stupid light. It's going to turn it off. Whatever. But yeah, for this particular matchup at heavyweight, it kind of changes things. Devin Clark, dude, is a phenomenal wrestler. He's very fast, thick, meaty legs, which I like to see. But William Knight, on the other hand, he's a thick, meaty boy. And it's going to be an interesting fight because basically, I think Devin Clark, he's the more skilled guy. He's got the better resume overall. He's fought better competition. He's currently on a 2-fight losing streak. His overall record is a 12-6. He's been knocked out before, but he's a very tough guy. His fight with Ian Cutelaba, dear God, the amount of punishment he took from Cutelaba was ridiculous, and it was impressive to say the least. It was like, damn, this guy can take a punch. He can come and still fight with a broken jaw. He's not going to quit, and I respected the shit out of him for that. William Knight, he's an anomaly because he's a short guy. He's 5'10" compared to the 6 foot tall Devin Clark. He's 34 years old. The guy is an athletic freak. I've seen this guy recently on Instagram bench press and squat ridiculous amounts of weight. And my thought process is if Devin Clark can take him down, I think he can control him. I think he can take him down. I think he's the rightful favorite. I would have hoped he would have been an underdog. It's just that as long as William Knight is standing and as long as William Knight has gas in the tank, he can knock out anyone in that division. Devin Clark, being that he recently had his jaw broken and he, has been knocked out before, it's a bit concerning. It might be a live betting opportunity. I like Devin Clark by decision. I think his cardio is way better. He can put on a pace. He's a much faster guy. He can even knock. I don't think. Oh wait, let me rephrase that. I don't think he will knock out William Knight, but I think he can knock him out. He hits really freaking hard, and he's really, really fast. Let me see what my notes say. Yeah, in regards to William Knight's takedown defense, it's not very skillful. It's just mostly power, but it gets the job done. He needs to kind of improve that takedown skill set. Like he needs to not just lift guys up and drop them down because he's going to gas out. I do think, though, that Devin Clark, oh man, I really wish he was the underdog. I'll go with Devin Clark. I think he wins this one by a decision, possibly even a TKO if he can get on top of William Knight. As long as William Knight doesn't reverse him, I think he can win this one. He absolutely needs this fight. At heavyweight, though, I think Knight's going to be too thick, too stocky, and too slow, and I think this would be a really good fight for Devin Clark. Damn it, I really wanted him to be an underdog. But the next fight, taking place at lightweight, Trey Ogden making his UFC debut versus Jordan Leavitt. And the odds currently have it in favor of Trey Ogden, minus 135. Comeback on Leavitt is a plus 115. Let me check my notes on this one because I have an opinion on this one. And I'm not certain which way I'm going to go yet, because when I initially saw the matchup, I'm like, wait, Trey Ogden fighting out of Glory, James Krause in his corner, black belt in jiu-jitsu, former Fury FC champion. then I did some tape watch on him, and I'm like, shit. This guy got submitted twice by guillotine by, what was his name? What was his Thomas Gifford, the guy who got completely destroyed in the UFC, did not belong. For a black belt, he gets subbed a lot. I don't like it. Even recently, his last fight, which was in Fury, he fought JJ Okonovic. And JJ, who I believe is a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, was able to really get a solid grip on a arm bar from the bottom. And I'm like, dude, if dudes like that are getting arm bars on you, even though it didn't, you know, lead anywhere, he might have gotten a bit of a sweep. It's just that getting in that position, getting threatened by the armbar was like, I'm out of this one. For an underdog play, I think Jordan Leavitt might be the one. I think he might submit Trey Ogden in the first round or second round. We all know what Leavitt is, right? He's a very good grappler. He's very smart. Bit of an oddball. He is, as I put it, the male Roxanne Modafferi when it comes to striking. He's a bit of a weirdo, man. And he fights very similar to Ryan Hall, where he throws a lot of kicks. He doesn't mind getting taken down. He doesn't do the same type of kicks that Ryan Hall does, like the hook kicks. And I don't think I've seen him booty scoot yet, but the guy is so fucking fluid on the ground, man. Like, I say that word a lot, fluid, but he personifies that. He's so gentle. He puts the gentle art in jiu-jitsu, because when he's flowing, it's like there's no hard movements. He just like rolls with it. Like, he's just so good on the ground to watch. He's just so flowy and gentle. He gasses, though. He does tend to gas quite a bit. He did get a submission on Matt Sales, the inverted triangle. I'm not certain if that was in. I think Matt Sales might have a little too early, because it didn't look all the way in. I know when you're in that position, like, being that I've grappled before, you're kind of stuck in that super hot space. Like, your head feels hot, you can't really breathe, and you kind of panic a little bit. And I think he might have panic tapped, because Sales, although he was losing that fight, he could have had success in the third round. With this one, I think either Leavitt by submission, guaranteed, because Ogden has been submitted a lot. And I think he's pretty pedestrian on the feet. He will definitely be the better fighter standing in this matchup. Leavitt's striking is a little kind of, little re. Yeah, I just don't like how many times Trey Ogden has been submitted by lesser submission artists. Being that Jordan Leavitt will actively be looking for a submission, I think he can get it on Trey Ogden. And might be a live betting situation. Did I write that down? Yeah, it might be a 50-50. I wrote down Leavitt gasses, but danger. He is dangerous, and I think he can really mess with people's parlays if you end up putting Trey Ogden or this fight in any of your parlays. Stay away from it. If anything, you can live bet it, but I will go with Leavitt by submission round number one. I think he will get it. I might be eating those words, because I think Trey Ogden has a way to win this fight by just nullifying Jordan Leavitt on the ground. I don't know. He might have a hard task there. If he can extend it to the third round, I mean, Leavitt could be winning. Damn it, man. Even then, I think Leavitt is pretty tough and pretty capable of not getting finished in the third round if Leavitt's winning the first two. Even if it's reverse, if Ogden is beating Leavitt 2-0, I think Leavitt can still get that choke and choke out Trey Ogden. I do not like, for a black belt, how many times he's been subbed. And he may be a good submission artist himself, but he does not have elite level defense. So I'll go with Jordan Leavitt reluctantly by a first round submission. And next bout, this one's interesting as well. At bantamweight, Kevin Croom is taking on Elatang Heili. And I don't know right off the bat how good Kevin Croom's going to look at bantamweight, cutting all that weight. He's a pretty tall guy, pretty lanky. I'm worried to even break this one down, because it might not even happen. Hold on, let me turn on this light. It's bothering me. Just need some background light. Heili, dynamite right hand. Great wrestling, doesn't use it too often. Kind of bothers me that he doesn't use it. I think he will have to use it in this fight with Kevin Croom. Kevin Croom, I don't want to comment too much on his takedown defense quite yet because he's going to be fighting a smaller guy. I know he fought recently against Kelleher, but Kelleher, I wouldn't necessarily consider him like a 135 or he's more of like a catch weight between that two because he fights at 145 and 135. Heili, he might be the smaller guy. He will be the significantly smaller guy here. He's a 5'5" compared to the 5'11" of Kevin Croom. But let's read the odds before I forget, like I always do. Kevin Croom is a plus 155. Comeback on Heili, he's a minus 180. What do I have here? Heili by TKO or decision. Let's see here. Croom. I see the cut to 135 might affect Kevin Croom. It's interesting because his gas tank shit completely against Alex Caceres, and then against Brian Kelleher, he was putting a ton of output on Brian Kelleher on short notice. I don't know, man. Like I really don't know. It's a toss up for me. If Kevin Croom looks good cardio wise against Heili at 135, he might be live just with that output. Heili doesn't throw a whole ton. When he does, he throws that right hand. And again, he doesn't wrestle. And I think if he wrestles, he can definitely win this fight. And again, if Kevin Croom's cardio fails him because of the weight cut to 135, it might be a good chance to bet Heili by maybe a finish if Croom ends up gassing out pretty badly. To be safe, I'm just going to go with Heili to win this one by decision. I think he can win it. Croom, though, I think although he's not the greatest fighter, he kind of sucks in my opinion. I say that as endearing as possible because I like the guy. I like his style. He's kind of a goofball. He throws a lot of volume. I think he can edge it out. I think he can have a performance similar to Tony Kelly versus Ryan Costa, where it's like, holy shit, where did this come from? It's just the more activity, pushing the pace, being out of Kansas City, Missouri with James Krause. Even though I joke around and I say that Kevin Croom is the kind of fighter that just shows up for sparring, I think he's got the right environment to make him a better fighter. And he's got the potential to really evolve his game, and he's got a chance to beat a much smaller Heili Alatang. I just don't feel confident in him enough to do so. But I think he might be live. And I mean that like minuscule. I think he potentially could be live. Literally live bet the guy if you think he's doing well with the output. But I'll go with Heili. I mean, he will have to wrestle. If he doesn't wrestle, he's just asking to get a decision loss. Next bout taking place at strawweight, we've got Sam Page Hughes versus Estela Nunes, and this one's pretty easy for me. I think Nunes is going to win this one. She's a much better striker. Sam Hughes does not belong, unfortunately, in the UFC. She is a total of 5-4. And let's read the odds before I begin. Currently, the odds have it. I know it's going to be Nunes minus 200. Come back on Sam Hughes is a plus 170. And I'm looking at it. She has Sam Hughes, that is a 1-inch height advantage and 1.5-inch reach disadvantage. Nunes, although she lost to Carnelossi, what I will say about her, although she's a 2-time Muay Thai champion, she's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. She is 6-2. She's fought good competition in one. She fought Angela Lee. She lost to Angela Lee. I think she's pretty good. I think she needed to get choked out by Carnelossi to kind of get things in perspective. Also, they gave her Carnelossi way too early. I mean, Sam Hughes, what do I have here about her? Blue belt in jiu-jitsu. Went the distance with Pinheiro. More so, Pinheiro looked like absolute dog shit that fight. Don't think she's UFC ready. I mean, trying to think if there's a chance Sam Page wins this fight. I don't think so. I think she will get TKO'd by the hard-hitting Nunes. Let's see what it says here. Do not get back into the cage. She does a Woodley. She does do a bit of a Woodley, whether that be because Carnelossi was pushing forward a lot or she likes to be on the outside. As long as she's not doing that too often and she moves forward, she should win this one by decision, possibly a TKO. She has decent takedown defense. Sam Hughes is just not, she's not UFC ready. I would say Estela Nunes is UFC ready, so I'll go with her to win this one. I'll probably do money line, but there's a chance she could win by a TKO. She is very aggressive. I like that about her. But, Sam Page is pretty tough. She has been finished by, who was it? Tisha Torres, but that was Tisha Torres trying to prove a point. And Tisha Torres just went into a split decision with, what's her face? Mackenzie Dern. So I will go with Nunes by a decision. Next bout, the rematch everyone's been clamoring for at bantamweight. Lena Lansberg, the Elbow Queen, versus Bonsai Pani Kianzad. Not much to say about this one. I think Kianzad wins this one. Let me see. Is she at minus 200 still? Let's check the odds. Let's see. No, minus 310. Come back on Lansberg is a plus 245. I recently learned while watching tape and doing research on Lansberg is that she is married to Akira Corsani. Didn't know that, mainly because I never really gave a shit about Lena Lansberg other than, her fight with Macy Chasson, where she just bullied her with elbows and the clinch. And the 40-year-old woman, unfortunately, is not going to beat Pani. Pani beat her in Lena's MMA debut, knocked her out. And Pani, although she lost her last fight to Pennington, it was pretty close. I had Pennington to win that fight, just being the grittier girl. And I think that type of fight is what Pani Kianzad needed to kind of put things in perspective, to know how not to lose that fight again. I mean, she can get put in that fight as she's moving up in the ranks. She's number 9, fighting the number 13, Lena Lansberg, who is coming off of, I believe, a 2-year layoff. I could be wrong, but it's because she was pregnant. She had her kid. But man, 40 years old, a former Muay Thai champ, hasn't fought in 2 years, got grapple fucked by McMahon. There's too many questions on her comeback. Will she look fantastic against Pani, like a new woman? I doubt it. Pani's going to be 10 years younger. She's so damn good, though, Pani Kianzad. I think even though she lost against Pennington, I think she really put on a great performance. And I think anywhere the fight goes, Pani's going to dominate. I don't know if she will finish Lena Lansberg. I think that first fight was more so Lena's inexperience with MMA, being that it was her debut that she got finished. If McMahon couldn't finish her, I don't think Pani's going to finish her. It's possible, being that this is on the feet. Pani, just be responsible. Don't do anything stupid. Win this fight by decision. So I'll go Pani by decision. Next fight at heavyweight. This one gave me a little bit of trouble, and mainly because I hadn't done my tape watch, but we've got Chris Barnett versus Martin Buday, and currently the odds have it in favor of the hell the fucking odds. There we go. Minus 195 for Buday. Come back on Barnett is a plus 165. Immediately you're thinking Budai's going to win this one. Big dude. How big is this guy? He is 6'4", 264 pounds of all Slavic meat. He's 9-1 versus Chris Barnett, who is 22-7. Recently got a spectacular knockout over Gian Vellante. And I like to bring these things up and kind of wank me off a little bit. But when I was breaking down that fight, I can't remember who I picked, so bear with me. But I did say Chris Barnett has the ability to super kick the shit out of Vellante. And when he threw that kick, I'm like, bless you. Like, even though I might have picked Vellante to win, the fact that like shit like that happens, I'm like, thank God. Like, at least I it solidifies that I know what I'm talking about, because I sometimes think, I'm like, am I right? Did I really pick Christakis to knock out Curtis Blades? And I'm like, man, I might suck. I'm like, no. Shit happens sometimes. Beast Boy, he's very experienced. He's fought a lot of good dudes. He actually even grappled Yo Romero and got submitted by a Kimura. The dude he's very experienced. He's very, very experienced. He's 35 years old. He's 5'9". That's the fucking problem. He's a good striker. He's a great striker, actually. Taekwondo background. He's 5'9". He's 5'9" and 165 pounds. Martin Buday, I call him Buday. Martin Buday, he can be a bit shit, to be honest. I know I was watching one of his fights in, where was it? Who was it that he beat? In whatever promotion it was. What was it? I think it was maybe Orlov that he fought. He's on not Instagram, on YouTube, but I thought there was a weird thing there where the guy kind of might have thrown the fight, because the guy gets hit once after winning the entire round, looking like he's winning the fight, and then Martin gets on top of him because he drops him with like a little glancing punch. I'm like, what the fuck? That didn't touch him. They show the replay, and I'm dead set saying this guy fucking threw the fight. No, he clipped him right on the nose and dropped him, and I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta stop talking shit. But you don't know what you're going to get with Martin. His fight with Lorenzo Hood put it on him early. And then what Martin does best is put you up against the cage, try to take you down. He is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He's pretty solid. He can go for subs. He can get kimuras. I like that about the guy. It's just that striking, he can be a bit irresponsible. He's very, very slow. I mean, Chris Barnett has the ability to light him up. And that could be a problem. That's why I was worried that maybe Chris Barnett can come in here and pull up the upset against the up and coming debutante and Martin Buday, who is coming off of a very last second first round knee knockout to Lorenzo Hood. He just battered the shit out of him. And it was more so Lorenzo Hood's inexperience in that position against a big dude like that made Buday look really good. I just realized I called them Buday, and Buday, whatever. But I think Martin is going to win this one by a decision, primarily because Chris Barnett is 5'9", and he struggled with Ben Rothwell. And I know Ben Rothwell's a mega experienced vet, and Martin's just 9-1. But if he does the exact same game plan, I think he can win this fight. I think he can finish Chris Barnett. I don't think he will, but damn, it's an interesting one, because I'm a pretty big fan of Chris Barnett, the good old Huggy Bear. I want him to continue to win in the UFC. I just want him to be in the UFC. He's one of these type of fighters that, like, a couple fights, they're just going to let him go. Although he's super exciting to watch, he's not going to make a huge splash. Then again, Josh Parisian is still in the goddamn UFC. So who knows? But I think Martin wins this one. I wouldn't touch it. I'd stay away from it. Just kind of enjoy it. Too many questions for Martin, because, again, if he tries to strike, he looks pretty bad striking. He needs to push forward. If Chris can escape from, like, skirting against the cage and taking the center of the octagon, he can attack the legs. He can just be the faster guy, and I think he can win this one, giving Martin a veteran lesson against, like, again, a very, very experienced guy. 29 fights compared to the 10 fights in Martin Buday. I'm tempted to take Chris. I might even take a shot on him betting wise, but prediction wise, I'll go with Buday. He's just too damn big. That's what I'm banking on. He's just too big. Next fight at lightweight, Rafa Garcia versus Jesse the Body Snatcher Ronson. This fight, I think Jesse's still the dog. Let's find out. It's going to go out and say I like Jesse Ronson on this one, the Body Snatcher. I think he's a bit of a mini legend. He's fought a lot of good guys. He's fought a lot of good guys outside and inside the UFC. PFL, for example, fought really good competition there. Although he lost those fights, he still looked great. Minus 130 for Garcia. Ooh, that sucks. And then plus 110 for Ronson. I'm taking that Ronson line. Win, lose, or draw. Win, lose, or split decision loss for Jesse Ronson. Dude had horrible luck in the UFC in his first stint. Lost to the likes of Kevin Lee by split decision and some other fucking guys. I'm going to find out right now because I don't remember. But I do remember watching every single one of those fights at the time, especially the Kevin Lee fight, because I hated Kevin Lee even back then. I'm like, I don't like this dude. And I remember thinking he could have just beat Kevin Lee and I'd be so happy. Wow, he went through the ringer. He went with Michel Prazeres, lost a split decision. Francisco Trinaldo lost a split decision, and Kevin Lee lost a split decision. His last fight with Dalby, we saw what happened. He knocks him out on the feet, then he submits him on the ground. Yep, he did do that. I'm like, did he knock him out? No. Dropped him, got on top, elbowed him, gave the neck up, got the choke. Beautiful stuff from the lightweight moving up to welterweight. And that's the thing about Jesse Ronson that I always remembered about him. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll fight anybody. He moves up in weight class. He's a natural lightweight, but he doesn't care. Extensive kickboxing record. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, if I recall. Yeah, he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. The guy is very much hard work over talent, and you can see that. And although he hasn't fought in 2 years, I think throw that out the window, man. A guy like Jesse Ronson can take 2-3 years off. He's not going to forget how to fight. And I don't think he's going to look any worse for wear against Rafa Garcia. And I know he got popped for steroids, Jesse Ronson, but he's claiming that it was a tainted supplement, which I don't know if I believe him, but I'm going to believe him. I'm going to go with it. It was a tainted supplement. He doesn't look huge, but he did look better than ever when he fought Nicholas Dalby. He had abs. He looked meaty. The guy can strike. The guy, the only thing I'm concerned of is Rafa Garcia. If he relentlessly goes for takedowns, but I think he's a little. I know his nickname is Gifted, but I think they call him that because he's one of the special kids that rides the bus, the special bus just for him. He's a tough wrestler. I'll say that. He beat Green Levy. What's his name? Natan Levy for his first UFC win. I think he needs to wrestle. I don't think he should try striking with Jesse Ronson. Jesse Ronson's going to be too damn good on the feet. He hits pretty damn hard. He attacks the body well. Garcia has to wrestle. The only way I see Jesse Ronson losing this one is if he gets completely dominated on the ground. It's very possible. I'm banking that Jesse Ronson, who has pretty good get-up game and a pretty good takedown defense, even at welterweight against really good top-level competition. He fought, what's his name? Natan Schultz, the guy who won PFL, won $1 million. He kept getting taken down. He kept getting back up. And even when he had space, he was just relentlessly attacking, and then he got taken down again. I like what I see from Jesse Ronson. 2-year layoff or not, I'm going to ride or die with Jesse Ronson. Second round TKO, Rafa Garcia. I think Garcia, it could just be that I'm still butthurt that he couldn't beat Grutzmacher when he was like a minus 200. Could be that. I do think, though, once I thought about it, I was at work today and I'm in the bathroom, and for whatever reason, I'm thinking about Rafa Garcia. Maybe because I was, thinking about shit, and I thought about Rafa Garcia. And I thought to myself, maybe we might have been a bit critical with Garcia because he comes into the UFC, loses to Nasrat, and we hold Nasrat high in like a high standard, like guy's very good, great boxing, and he put on a pretty decent losing performance, and then he comes in against Grutzmacher, and we expect a lot from him. And he, in reality, wasn't at a specific level, thinking that in a full training camp, he might have beat Nasrat. But I think Nasrat kind of dropped down a little bit in skill. Just hate to say it, but I think so. So that loss to Nasrat really put him like, oh my God, this guy's so great. But in reality, that Natan Levy fight kind of showed where his level was because he could have lost to Levy. And Levy is very, very green, even though I picked him to beat Garcia. But I think Ronson, with his, 31 professional fights, he's going to run through Garcia at plus money. I'm going with the underdog, Jesse Ronson, second round TKO. Next bout, Drakkar Klose versus Brandon Jenkins, taking place at lightweight. Currently, the odds guaranteed are going to be inflated for Drakkar, yep, minus 450, minus 450 for Drakkar Klose. Come back on Jenkins, plus one. God damn it, plus one. Plus 325. Not really much to say about this one at all. Drakkar, his last fight was a loss to Jeremy Stevens via push. Hardest pushing lightweight in the UFC roster that was at one point. Yeah, I don't have much on this one. He beat Bobby Green. He's beaten way better competition. Christos Giagos, Bobby Green, Lando Veneta. I know he lost to future Islam Makhachev destroyer Beneil Dariush, but Beneil Dariush is the future Islam Makhachev destroyer. Brandon Jenkins, the guy, bad takedown defense. He's very exciting to watch. He can potentially get a TKO knockout here if he does something spectacular. He likes to throw flying knees. He's very, unorthodox, if you will, but he's not difficult to time. Zhu Rong completely dominated him on the ground. Drakkar Klose is going to do the same, probably finish him. Yeah, I got Klose by TKO. I know Jenkins is tough. I think Klose should get the TKO, but being that it's been, 2 years since he's fought, he's going to have a bit of ring rust. Unlike Jesse Ronson, Drakkar Klose will have a bit of ring rust. So I think either decision prop or TKO. Um, Jenkins, I know he just fought recently. I just don't think he's UFC caliber, at least not fighting a guy like Drakkar Klose. So I'll go with Drakkar Klose to be safe. I'll say a decision. Not much to say about that, really. If you have a different opinion, tell me. Leave it in the comments. And before we break down the main card, like, share, subscribe, simp the like button as I have here. I was looking for tiger pictures and I fucking found this thing and I'm like, I better put it under the break. But for this break, I just kind of wanted to let you know I did do some judging recently and I wanted to break down some of my thoughts about the judging process. And I have some of the scorecards here that, don't ask me why I have them, but I have some of the scorecards that they gave us. And there was one particular fight, and I wanted to bring this up for those of you who don't know. I do pro and amateur judging. I'm not like a big deal. You're not going to see me in the UFC anytime soon, but locally for my state's athletic commission, I do judging. And there was one particular fight that, and I'll be upfront, like, I've been very critical about my athletic commission. I'm partly a little worried that if they find out I'm doing this shit on the internet, they're gonna, tell me to stop or fire me. But 300 subscribers, I don't think they're gonna see this shit. There was one particular fight which was a amateur bout. I don't remember what the weight class was, but they gave us the cards, right? Red corner, blue corner. Guy's name is on it, and I'm scoring it. And first round goes to the hometown guy, which clearly won it. Obviously, I write it down 10-9 for the hometown guy. Let's just say he was in the red corner, which was exactly right. He was in the red corner, 10-9. Second round, blue corner wins that one. So 10-9 blue corner, easy as pie. Then round number 3, blue corner wins the fight. Clear as day, 29-28 blue corner. I don't want to say the names of the guys, but I circle the name. I write down the name. The X fighter won via 29 decision on the card, and I circle the score. That way they know that X fighter from the blue corner won. They pick up the scorecards, and I'm like, okay, time to wait for them to read the decision. To clear as day, 100% 29-28 blue corner, and they're taking forever. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell's taking so long? Then I start thinking, wait a minute, I circled the red corner. Oh, I'm panicking, right? I'm like, I completely fucked this up. Like, oh my God, like, I'm so worried that I'm gonna ruin some kid's amateur record because I was too fucking stupid to pay attention to the names and the colors, and they read the decision and it's a split. And I'm like, fuck. I felt terrible. I felt like I don't belong here. Like, I bitch so much about these judges doing a horrible job, and here I am completely fucking up a scorecard. And they read it and they're like, oh, for the winner by split decision, blue corner. I'm like, oh, okay, at least we got the right decision. But like, I felt so like embarrassed and red. So I get up and I go to the commission, the commission heads, and I'm like, hey, did I fuck up that scorecard? Exactly what I said. And the guy smiles and said, no, 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 no. It was actually a complete unanimous decision for blue. They just had the names written wrong. Blue corner was listed under the red side and red corner was listed on the blue side. I didn't catch it because I'm going off of the names. Like, X Fighter is clearly winning, but because it was like flopped around, I was like, I was so pissed. I'm like, dude, you just announced it was a split decision. It should have been a unanimous decision for blue. I was so fucking pissed, man. I'm like, I didn't fuck up. The commission fucked up. I won't say which one it is. Some of you might know because you're on the Discord. Follow the Discord if you want more info on what I do. But I was fucking pissed, dude. So the only thing I can do is just kind of be more vocal and be more professional about things. Maybe pay attention to that in the future. I didn't expect that to happen. Like, know that the coinciding colors match the people's name on the corner and all that. So interesting little tidbit. But let's get started breaking down fights. That's my little rant for the hopefully people are going to simp the like button. But let's break down the first fight of the main card. Pat Sabatini versus TJ Laramie, taking place at featherweight. Currently, the odds have it overwhelmingly in favor of Pat Sabatini, minus 380. Come back on TJ Laramie. He's a, did I say plus 380? Minus 380, plus 290 for TJ Laramie. And I thought pretty easily, Dratini Sabatini with the wrap is going to wrap this boy up and choke him out in the second round. That's what I thought. After watching some tape, I'm like, you know, you can be a bit critical on some of these guys like TJ Laramie, who came into the UFC, got choked out by Minner Winner Chicken Dinner by first round sub. Funny story about that. I had a huge prop on Minner by submission. I was at a wedding, and I'm always at fucking weddings watching fights. I hate weddings. I'm on my phone, and I'm just like, winner, chicken Minner. And luckily, no one fucking gave a shit about what I was doing in the corner. But yeah, I cashed that prop out pretty nicely. And I just knew TJ Laramie's like way in over his head, as I initially thought with that Sabatini. Sabatini, excellent wrestler. If he takes you down, he's going to Aljamain Sterling you. He's going to backpack you. He's going to put you in a load of shit. He's a fantastic grappler, excellent jiu-jitsu specialist. I mean, what he did to Jamal Emmers with that, was it a heel hook? Yeah, with that heel hook, I'm like, damn, this guy's dangerous. You cannot allow him to get you to the ground. And TJ Laramie, I think he is pretty good. After watching tape on him, I'm like, the guy isn't bad. I initially wrote him off. My guy's like, he's a little whatever. This little, whatever Canadian. He's 24 years old. He is what 5'6" compared to 5'8" of Sabatini, and he's going to be at a reach disadvantage by about 4 inches. The thing I do like about TJ Laramie, he's pretty well-rounded. Period. Very good striking. Also good wrestling, good control. That sub defense, I think he just got caught off guard by Derek Minner, because funny enough, actually, I saw Derek Minner like 14 times because he was judging the shit out of these events on Friday. But Minner's, that's his bread and butter, is that guillotine choke in the first round. So there's no shame in losing to a vet like that. I think he needed that. From what I've seen in Instagram, TJ Laramie's hands are looking good. I think his striking's really good. If Sabatini, for whatever reason, cannot get TJ Laramie down, you might be in a shit ton of trouble. As much as I like Sabatini, and I think he's very, very capable of getting it to the ground, regardless of how good TJ Laramie's takedown defense and wrestling is and counter wrestling. If he does get taken down, he is in a load of trouble, period. Like, I don't care how good TJ's jiu-jitsu is, and I'm not certain how good it is. He's definitely not a black belt, but he's more so like a wrestler boxer. But yeah, I think he's well-rounded. I mean, there's a chance that he could be a pretty significantly good dog, but the relentless pressure of Sabatini is just not something I'm willing to bet against. He's just not the greatest striker. He's good. He's just not great. I don't think, if this was like one of those ONE FC fights where strictly stand-up in Muay Thai and then strictly grappling or MMA, if this was the case, Sabatini might get wrecked if he doesn't have the ability to take it down. Because I think TJ might be just a more better, cleaner striker. He's not terrible, that is, but I don't think he can win a fight strictly with his striking. But I could be proven wrong. In this fight, though, I think Sabatini will get it to the ground and eventually get a submission on TJ Laramie. Round number 2. Live betting might be something you might be interested in this one, because if TJ Laramie does stuff the takedown, and this is a short notice bout. I think it was supposed to be Laramie versus Melsik Bagdasaryan. I actually would have gone with Melsik. Melsik is just too much of a whirlwind. But this one, with Pat Sabatini coming in on short notice, I'm not certain how much time he's had to prepare, Laramie that is, for that nasty, nasty takedown pressure and wrapping game of Sabatini. So I'll go with Dratini Sabatini by second round submission. I think he gets a rear naked choke, but we'll see. And then next bout, taking place at welterweight. I freaking love this fight. We've got Andre Fialho versus Miguel Baeza. Currently, the odds have it in favor of Where we at, boys? Miguel Baeza minus 180 comeback on Fialho is a plus 155. I'll get this out of the way. Fialho comes into the UFC short notice against Michel Pereira. Looks fantastic in the first round. Gave me an absolute scare. The dude's boxing is legit. He's got excellent pressure, moves forward, good chin. He doesn't throw a lot of kicks, is my only concern with him. I was going to say something, but fuck it. I'll just bleep it out. No kicks for Fialho. Kicks are for f***s, and he believes that 100%. But then I go on his Instagram, and there he is drilling kicks. So he might be changing his game up a little bit. I like Fialho a lot. I like him as a dog. Miguel Baeza, man, I was thinking he might have had a bit of the broken toy syndrome where it's like, oh, look at Miguel Baeza. He's undefeated. He looks phenomenal, finishing dudes, super well-rounded. What is it? Black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think he's got some judo background. I could be wrong. Probably am wrong. Yeah, just a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Oh my God, he knocked out Matt Brown. Goes to war with a veteran like Ponzinibbio, and then he gets finished by Chaos Williams. Very good fight with Chaos Williams, man. He just went too many times to the well with the low kick, to the calf kick. Went 1-2, got countered, and I'm afraid he'll do that here with Fialho. Fialho, he's not the better fighter to Baeza. I think Baeza is just way better. A lot of good movement, very long. He is going to be the taller guy by 2 inches. He has a half-inch reach advantage. Sanford MMA for Fialho, MMA Masters for Miguel Baeza. I really want to fade Miguel Baeza because I think he loses this one. Man, but like when I'm thinking about it, he's the more diverse striker. He's more comfortable being a kicker. He's got fantastic counters, man. When Chaos came in trying to knock his head off, he would fire back with some beautiful counters, and then Chaos is like, "Oh shit, I ain't playing with this kid." He just needs to be a bit more responsible. I think Miguel Baeza, he absolutely needs this fight. I think they both do, for sure. Andre needs to prove that he belongs in the UFC right now. Not having a win is definitely hurting him, and Miguel hasn't had a win in 2 fights. He absolutely needs this to still be a contender. Funny enough, Fialho's the younger guy. He's 28 compared to 29 by Miguel Baeza. Miguel Baeza looks like he can be 17, and Fialho looks like he can be 35. It's crazy how this works. Whew. What do I have written down? Fialho round number 2 TKO. Gets in close, hurts Miguel with something straight, and then unloads on him against the cage. That's maybe some wishful thinking because my initial thought process is if Miguel Baeza got dropped and finished by Williams 4 months ago, could be a problem. His chin might not have time to recover. But rewatching the fight, he got dropped pretty bad, but he was still there, so it might have been an early stoppage. This one's tough. I don't want to really have any skin in this game because I think Miguel Baeza could win this decision just being the better movement guy, if that makes sense. But the reason I'm going to go with Fialho is that he fought Michel Pereira, who is just too much movement, and I think he did well against him, and I think he'll do well against Miguel Baeza. This could be completely wrong for me, though, but I will go with Andre Fialho in this one by a second round TKO. His boxing so damn good. He's implementing kicks. My only concern with that is that if he tries to change his style, what brought him to the game might cause some issues, but I'll go with Fialho, second round TKO. Next bout taking place at bantamweight. We've got Mayra Bueno Silva versus Yanan Wu. I don't have many notes on this one. Minus 400 for Silva. Wu comes back plus 300. I think this is an insult to all of us. I think we all know. If you have a different opinion, you can list it down in the comments, but I've got Silva by whatever she wants. She's just a way better fighter, fought way better competition. I consider this to be kind of like a, underhanded, easy home run for for the Brazilian here, Bueno Silva. Don't have much to say. I don't think Yanan Wu, she's on a 2-fight losing streak. Lost to Jocelyn Edwards. I mean, I like Jocelyn. I picked her to win. She did win. I think Silva's just fought the way better competition, and she's going to prove. I mean, I think she's going to run a train on Wu Yanan. So it's her fight to lose. As long as she doesn't pull any stunt here, I don't think she will. I think if she does lose this fight, stylistically wise and skill wise, this could be a huge stunt that would be pulled by Silva. I initially compared it to, what did I compare this to? A lot like, okay, it's a gimme fight like Cody McKenzie versus Chad Mendez. This is how I consider this fight. But if this were to somehow Yanan Wu wins this one, this would be comparable to, like, I don't think there'd be anything to compare it to that I can think of. Maybe GSP. I know this is like kind of crazy. GSP losing to Matt Serra. I could be fucking nuts, but I would consider it like that. But I've got Silva to win. I'll say round number 1 submission. I just do not think Yanan Wu is on Silva's level. Next bout, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos versus Munir Lazzez, taking place at welterweight. Currently, the odds have it -200 for Zaleski. Comeback on Lazzez is a +170. I'll be upfront with you 100%. I don't want to spend too much time making this a super long video. I think Zaleski's he's gotten really old. I know both of these guys are very similar in age. Zaleski is 35 and Lazzez is 34. Zaleski looked pretty damn old against Benoit Saint-Denis. He couldn't finish the guy. I know Benoit Saint-Denis is incredibly fucking tough, but dear God, like, he gassed out beating the crap out of the guy. And as much as I love Zaleski, I think it's time for someone else to take over as an elite striker in the welterweight division. I think that's going to be Lazzez in this fight. At dog odds, I love a lot of what Munir Lazzez has to offer, despite I consider him pulling a stunt against Warlley Alves, where he got battered to the body. He's got a glass liver, but he's training at Extreme Couture. What else do we have here? Yeah, he's a very good kickboxer, despite the fact that he might have pulled a stunt against Alves. He might have quit there, but his knees, elbows, high kicks. Paul Felder was simping for him against his fight with Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He's like, I want to train with this guy. I'm like, chill the fuck out, Felder. His cardio's good, great movement, pretty damn solid chin. I mean, Razak was just unloading on the guy, and he was eating them and smiling. If Zaleski, oh man, I really don't think Zaleski's going to be able to hurt him. I know Zaleski's got a ton of tricks in his bag, and if he can land a nasty liver shot early, I think he can maybe finish Lazzez. But if he doesn't finish him, I think Lazzez in the later rounds is going to just style on Zaleski, and that doesn't often happen. But I think Zaleski, as I mentioned, I think he's starting to show his age, and it might be time for him to lose this one. He's also been on a win-loss type of record, and he's due for a loss. I'll go with Munir Lazzez to win this one by a decision. I think he's going to maybe lose and drop the first round. Round number 2, round number 3 is going to completely outstrike him enough to win the decision. And yeah, I like him at dog odds. I'll go with Lazzez to win this one by a decision. Again, I'm banking on the fact that Zaleski's looked pretty damn old as of late. He's 35 years old. He's got a ton of mileage on him. He's got 30 professional fights. This would be his 31st. Lazzez, although he's inexperienced, training at Extreme Couture, that's going to benefit him extremely. And training with Sean Strickland, he's going to have a little bit of the crazy in him. So I'll go with Lazzez by a decision. Co-main event. Why is this a co-main event? I have zero idea, but hopefully I pronounce the names right. But I have Caio Borrahlo and Gadzi Omargadzhiev. And currently the odds have it in favor of Gadziev. -140 comeback on Borrahlo, +115. I'll be very brief with this one because I can do all the tape watch I want on these two guys. we won't know until they fight. We won't know how good each guy is because they're making their UFC debut, both from the Contender Series, and it's a co-main event. Gadzhiev, great wrestler, great submissions. I think he can easily control the fight on the ground and just win a decision. Caio Borrahlo, he kind of reminds me, looks wise, physique wise, like a great value version of Borrahlo that got dropped off in like a vat of ink because he's covered in funky ass tattoos, but kind of gives me that vibe. Breaking these two guys down, Gadzhiev, Omargadzhiev, that is, I couldn't get a whole ton of tape watch on him, but he does have good movement. He has pretty decent striking, great grappling, great control. He's Russian, for God's sakes. Nasty knee bar in the Contender Series. Caio Borrahlo. Oh, what is he? Black belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in judo. He's a pretty good striker. Like, he's not great, but he's pretty good. I like his Machida type of stance, and he has a really good left hand. He's never fought a Russian before. Keep that in mind. He can defend shots, like wrestling wise, because he fought a wrestler in the Contender Series, but I don't think he'll be able to stop 3, 4, 5, and 6 that Omargadzhiev is going to really produce. So I think he's good. I just need to see more of the guy. He needs to get seasoned more. I think because he's very athletic, I think he can win this fight if he can keep it on the feet. He has some power. He won't be on the feet, though. He's going to get taken down. I think Gadzhiev is going to... Omargadzhiev, damn. It sounds like Omargadzhiev, but it's Omargadzhiev. He will put him on his ass and then make it a pretty Russian fight on the ground. So I'll go with Omargadzhiev by decision. Don't touch it. Too many risks on this one. And let's go to the main event. Thank God. At welterweight, the rematch, Vicente Luque versus Belal Muhammad 2. Currently, the odds have it in favor of Luque, minus 185. Comeback on Muhammad, plus 150. I kind of have something against Belal Muhammad. I don't dislike him, but I don't like him. I think I am kind of a stan for Vicente Luque. As of late, I've been recording myself watching his fights. My reactions to his fights have not been disappointing. I might do the same for this fight with Belal Muhammad. We know that Belal got knocked out by Luque. And what's interesting, and I might have told this story before. Let me just get a drink of water. That I'm watching the first fight, and I'm telling my cousin, "Oh my God, this Belal Muhammad character is, remember the name. He went to a decision and got his ass beat, but he showed incredible toughness against Alan Jouban. I think he's going to survive and give Luque a really good fight." Boom, he's knocked out. Knocked out in the first round. Luque does that. Luque is phenomenal. I love Luque. I'm gay for Luque. This is a completely different matchup. Knowing how different Belal Muhammad's been fighting lately, very wrestling heavy. And when I say different, I'm talking about his physique. He's looking a little too unnatural, if you know what I'm saying. Very vascular. I know he beat Wonder Boy. I know he beat Maya. I don't think he's going to beat Luque. I don't think he's going to be able to put Luque in any danger. Luque's just fought better versions of Belal Muhammad. I know Belal, if he can get it to the ground, he can control. I really don't even think he's going to control Luque, because Luque, he got taken down by, who was it? Michael Chiesa. What happened to Michael? He got Darce choked. Tyron Woodley tried striking with him. Tyron Woodley's a way better striker. Oh, God, that's coming out of my mouth. I can't believe I said that. But fuck it, it's true. Tyron Woodley is a better striker than Belal Muhammad. It's just that Muhammad actually throws more punches. But when Woodley says, fuck it, I'm going to go out there kamikaze, he can put anyone's lights out if he throws. And we saw what happened to Woodley. He got Darce choked. I think another Darce choke is coming. Either that or a knockout. I mean, I still am not sold on Belal Muhammad being so highly ranked. He's number 6 in the world. He got destroyed by Leon Edwards. I know that was a no contest because of the eye poke, but I'm still not sold on it. I think Edwards versus Luque would be a lot closer than seeing Luque versus, or I'm sorry, seeing Muhammad versus Edwards. I think Edwards just crushes Muhammad again. Man, I could have something personal against Bilal Muhammad. I don't dislike the guy. Just I don't like his fighting style. I could be a bit butthurt that he beat Stephen Thompson when I picked Stephen to win, but Stephen really hasn't looked the same in a while. I think Luque wins this one pretty decisively. If there are any hairy moments on the ground, I think Luque can survive. He's got that beautiful like Darce choke to either sink in and just finish, because he will finish it if he feels comfortable going for it. And if he feels comfortable getting it on Bilal Muhammad, Muhammad's going to go out. He's not going to tap. I don't think he will tap. If he taps, he's a bitch. But if he doesn't get it, he can easily get back up to his feet using it as kind of a sweep and then just unload on Muhammad. I know Muhammad will have excellent cardio, excellent pace moving forward. Being that it's a 5-round fight, anything could happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Muhammad puts on a nasty pace on Luque and tires him out, but I just don't see that happening. I think Luque training ever so hard, fighting excellent competition on a 4-fight win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4 finishes in a row. He's going to make it 5. He will finish Bilal Muhammad. I'm going to say second round submission, Darce choke. And let's take a look for possible parlays on this card, because I've been kind of neglecting the parlay. I'm not, I don't know. I kind of just want to do some straight bets for a while. But if I were to make a ridiculous parlay, let's see what I feel confident in. Myro Bueno Silva. That's just asking for trouble, but let's just go with that. I'll go with Panny Kianzad. I like that quite a bit. Lazzez, and I will go with Luque. So I've got a 4-team parlay. It's very risky. If I do end up betting this, I'm not going to go crazy with it, but I say we'll put $50 on that. That gets me $331. So I do like that. Straight bet. So I do like Lazzez as a dog. I do like Luque by submission or just by finish inside the distance. I don't have the line for that yet. I want to say Sabatini by submission, but I think Laramie might be able to withstand Jakar Klose by decision. Jordan Leavitt by submission. I like that. Ronson straight as well, plus 105 currently through my bookie. Not my bookie, the website, my bookie that I go through. And I think that's it, really. Everything else can be a bit of a toss-up. Maybe Panny Kianzad and Lena Lansberg to go over 2.5. I think it might go to a decision. Fuck it, just Kianzad by decision is fine. And yeah, I'm interested in this card. It's a phenomenal fight card, just kind of getting us back into our normal routine after that excellent pay-per-view, UFC 273. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments of the picks. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. As always, follow the Discord, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, Jose should be back next week. But for now, it's been Johnny from Tiger Bomb MMA. And as always, fuck Oberg.